Well, CNN and Don Lemon trading barbs after Lemon claimed he was fired from the network. Correspondent Christina Thompson is live with more on the story. Christina.
Well, Don Lemon tweeted out a statement saying that he was shocked at being fired. Others say they're shocked it took so long. Even former President Donald Trump weighing in. He posted on Truth Social, "Good news, the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon, has finally been fired from fake news CNN. My only question is, what took them so long?" Now, he's asking the question that is on a lot of minds, and that's because Don Lemon's comments about presidential candidate Nikki Haley being past her prime are just the tip of the iceberg. Female staffers allegedly have been filing reports against him for years. He allegedly called a coworker fat to her face, allegedly texted his prior female co-host, Kira Phillips, "Now you've crossed the line and you're going to pay for it," when she was given a coveted assignment that he wanted. Lemon allegedly mocked another co-host, Nancy Grace, on air by mimicking her. He also reportedly told Soledad O'Brien she wasn't actually black, even though she's proudly outspoken about her Afro-Cuban heritage. Now, he's been taken off shows for showing aggressive behavior, exhibited diva-like behavior, and it exploded in meetings, according to those who worked with him, and still avoided being fired up until now. But Don Lemon, he actually broke the news on Twitter himself, saying, "I was informed by my agent and stunned. After 17 years, I would have thought someone in management would have the decency to tell me directly." CNN says that's a lie. They wrote on Twitter, Don Lemon's statement about this morning's events is inaccurate. He was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead he released a statement on Twitter. Katrina, Bob.
All right. Thank you, Christina. Joining us now to discuss is the executive editor of Newsbusters at the Media Research Center, Tim Graham. Tim, your thoughts on this?
Well, I think a lot of us are saying, why now? Why it took so long? You know, when they were making these moves to say, let's take out the most aggressive anti-Trump voices, Brian Stelter, John Harwood, Chris Cillizza, and then you're like, it seems like Don Lemon was spared because he's black and gay. I mean, this whole idea that you were going to move him to the morning and he was going to change his approach, obviously he didn't do that. I mean, you can look at his interview with Vivek Ramaswamy the other morning, where he just acted offended for 5 minutes instead of actually doing an interview.
Do you see him, where do you see him landing, or do you see him landing anywhere? We've seen some other CNN people landing at News Nation and other places. Some say that Don Lemon might be a hard one to hire, especially because of his misogynist, all the misogynist allegations against him.
Well, News Nation hired Chris Cuomo after the allegations against him and his brother. So, you know, maybe they could do the Cuomo to a Lemon handoff again. I have no idea. Obviously, with people like this, they have a track record. They're known by people. So you'd think there would be offers out there for them to take. However, yes, we haven't seen Stelter or Harwood or Cillizza on other networks. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, what do you think? How does this change, if at all, what somebody in that role might do or say or behave, or how they might behave? Because we saw him in prime time, and then he goes to the morning, and he's had this personality thing. To summarize, it seems pretty entitled, seemed almost like he felt he was untouchable, and now you see that's not the case. Now, that's my perception. I may be completely wrong about that, but does that affect whoever steps in those roles in the future?
I think humility should always be a good thing, but when you're a TV star, I mean, it's pretty easy to fall out of the humility chair. Obviously, there was just terrible chemistry. We could all see that. You could see it in the Variety article. The terrible chemistry between him and his female co-hosts on the morning show. I think he really resented being demoted. He claimed it wasn't a demotion, but he absolutely behaved like he thought he had been demoted.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Tim. It was his fall from primetime grace, so to speak. I think you nailed it right there. Tim Graham, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.